Hello.
Hi.
Kayla Lords.
John Brownstone.
Of Loving BDSM, where we help kinksters like you have happy, healthy power exchange relationships. We're back to answer another question. This time from a dominant who is getting called Sir from the jump, from the very beginning. And they have questions. Let's get into the question.
Okay.
When I first started exploring, I used to start off chats with submissives with my kind of expectations and quickly learned that not only does this come off really intense, but also demanding things like titles and rules obviously is not something to do right off the bat. You guys actually helped me learn that. Thank you. You're welcome. But I've noticed that a lot of subs will still call me sir when we chat, even though I have not asked them to or we have not discussed it yet. Should I say something about this, or since they're doing it willingly, is it all right to just let it happen and not really take it further until further discussions have happened? Lola would like to put her 2 cents in. I think this is going to be one of those episodes.
Yes, yep. So it is. An interesting question, and one I kind of have a little bit of experience with. Kind of learning the whole thing. I'm glad, coming off too intense in the beginning to jump right in with, expectations and everything. Yeah, that can be a little much. Now, as for the being called sir, that is really kind of a personal preference. Some people like it, expect it. Some people, unless they're in a dynamic, they don't want to be called, any kind of title. If it is something that you do not like, that you don't feel comfortable with, those are boundaries you need to set with the person that you're chatting with. I've done that. I've had people, even at Munches, that I didn't really know call me sir. And, I told them, please don't do that. I'm not your sir. You're Dom. And, they respected the boundaries. One person did tell me that they did it out of respect, just which may be the case. Some a lot of subs will do that out of respect. But if it makes you feel uncomfortable, that is definitely a boundary that you can set. Just like there are subs who don't like pet names from somebody that they're not in the dynamic with, which totally understand that too. But you need to let those boundaries be known. So,
I agree completely. The thing, all you have to do is look within and go, am I comfortable with this?
Yeah.
Decide for yourself. The other thing I would add, though, there are plenty of new to new-ish submissives who get told by the wrong person that this is the expectation, right? So when you're having a conversation with somebody and they're new to you and they just started out and you haven't had the conversation about this, take a beat and go, hey, do you know you don't have to call me that? Has anybody ever told you, you can if you want, if assuming you are comfortable with it. You can say, I'm comfortable with it. If you're comfortable with it, that's fine. But do you know you don't have to? Because there are going to be plenty of submissives who have talked to the wrong person, read the wrong Twitter thread, had a little too much smut in their Kindle, and they're going to think that is somehow an expectation, and it should not be an expectation. Yeah. If, I did not know I was like this, but I get a little, I'm not a fan when somebody unprompted calls my daddy any kind of honorific without it being negotiated. If he's negotiated it, I don't care. It's, the only thing I've asked is I would prefer you not to be daddy to anybody else. And it hasn't been an issue that we've had to deal with. But, I'm personally not a fan, but I do understand where it comes from. And if you're okay with it, go for it. Now, something that you brought up is not in this question, but it is I say that as a sign of respect.
Yeah.
And I have heard people say that I am Southern. That was how I was raised. If I perceive you as older than me or in a higher position of authority, or even if we're at not the same age, that would be weird to me. I'm probably going to use sir and ma'am until I hear otherwise. It's a default because many of us got our butt smacked and we were not considered polite. But that should also not be that should be something that I think gets unlearned in the kink community, because words sometimes have different connotations and meanings to different people.
That's true.
Like, I can understand in an abstract way if somebody who probably was raised similarly to me sees John Brownstone as like, oh, he's older than me, I should say sir. But this is kink. The sir means something to some of us. So just be careful. Also, sometimes there's the presumption of gender or being okay with gender specific, air quote that, terms that somebody might not have. So if you yourself are in the habit of just using honorifics based on what maybe you think you know about a person, go ahead and stop doing that and ask if it's okay. It's a consent thing. Like, this person who said the question in doesn't seem to care that much. They see a little bit of the, hey, wait, it's not right if I do it, but is it okay? It's, air quote, okay if everybody involved is okay with it.
Right.
But I do think it's worth a little introspection to say, wait, don't, let's not presume anything, Because for all that submissive knows, when they're starting a conversation with a dom, the dom may hate the term sir or ma'am or this or that. That might not be how they see themselves as a dominant.
That's true.
So it's both sides of the slash needing to just, I don't even want to say proceed with caution, just ask. This is a great way to practice your clear, direct communication skills and negotiation.
Yeah.
I would like to call you this. Is that okay with you? Done. It doesn't have to be awkward. It doesn't have to be weird. But then you're not, assuming anything about the person you're talking to.
True.
So yeah, for the person asking the question, if you're cool with it, it's fine. It's, your personal thing. I do still recommend double checking to make sure they know they don't have to.
Correct.
But also, if you're on the other end of this, if your quote default is to, every male dom you talk to just to automatically call them sir, and again, perceived male dom, female dom to call, just unless they've put it somewhere specific, read bios. If you're responding to something they've posted on the internet where they've said this, that's fine.
Yeah.
But until just ask. Like, hey, I think you're cool. Hey, I'd like to talk to you. How should I address you? What's the right way? And then you've opened up a conversation.
It's true.
So, that being said, if a complete and total stranger dom demands to be called a specific honorific, maybe give that a little side eye, but also, it's ultimately fine if there's a conversation and communication and even a little blip of negotiation. It's fine, as long as everybody agrees.
True. There you go.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on this? We are not the end-all be-all. We don't know everything. We just know how we like things. So, however you feel about this question, on either side of the slash, feel free to share in the comments below. If you enjoy this, we'd love a thumbs up. If you like it enough to want to come back for more, please consider subscribing.
And go ahead and ring that notification bell to get updates and new content.
Just do what Daddy says. And if you really like what we do, want to help us keep doing more of it, you can join us on Patreon, patreon.com/OcalaLords. Link down below. You get access to our Discord server, extra content, extra perks, extra, and you can join for as little as $2 a month.